Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be picking up objects with our mouse. Someone suggested this on the Discord server. Well, they didn't suggest it, they asked for help with it, and I'm going to make a video on it instead. So what have we got in the scene to work with? We have a player, the ground, and 2 crates. Also made the sky look it's a little bit nicer. On the player, we have just a main camera and a model. We also just have mouse look and player move script with a character controller. And then we have 2 crates, which have a rigid body and a box collider on them. So let's get started with this tutorial. Let's go into scripts. Let's create a new script, and let's call this pickup. Okay, in our pickup script, we are going to delete that, and we are also going to delete those because we will not need them, and it's just wasting resources. Let's then go and create a public reference to the camera. Just call it cam. And actually, let's not make this public. Instead, let's make this private. And then before, we're going to serialize the field. Serialize field. And what this does, it basically makes it private, but it shows up in the inspector. We're also going to make a serialized field private float. And this is going to be the distance which we can pick up. So pick up distance. And then inside start, we can actually just set the camera. Cam is equal to camera.main. There we go. And that means we can also just remove the serialized field. We want to be able to minimize the amount of, variables we have exposed in the inspector just to make it a whole lot easier. And then let's also just make a serialized field. We'll serialize it just so we can see what it is. And this is the game object, and it's called the current object. And that's the object that we're picking up. Cool. Okay, so inside of the update method, we're going to be checking if we are clicking the key to pick up something, and if we are, pick up that object, and if we're not clicking that key, we're going to drop the object. So, which also means we're going to need a void called drop object, which also means we'll need a method called pick up object, like so. And then in update, we can go if input.getKey. Get key. And here we can define which key we want. So a private key code. And let's call this pickup key. And we'll also just set the pickup distance equal to 3. We're just going to set pickup key is equal to key code F. Interact. Input the get key, and here we can input the pickup key into here. So if we're going to get the key, if we're going to detect that there's key input, then we can pick up object. Else, we're going to drop the object. So basically, this is going to be whenever we're holding down the F key, we're holding the object, and every time we're not, we're going to be seeing, we're going to be dropping the object. So inside drop object, first of all, we're going to check if our current object is equal to null. Then that means there's nothing to drop, so we can actually just simply return out of the method. And simply here, if pickup object, if our current object is not equal to null, so if we already have an object down on hand, we don't want to pick up another one because that might glitch out. So we're also going to return out of this method. Let's get onto the pickup now. Okay, let's make a raycast hit. Let's call this hit. And then let's also do a physics.raycast. And what a raycast is it basically is going to shoot out an invisible ray, and we can assign all that data that it gets from that ray to the raycast hit object, which we named hit. So here we can input the cam.position, and this is the position which the raycast is going to shoot the ray from. And then we can also use cam.forward as the direction, which is the vector of going forward in the camera. We can then out the hit data from it, and let's also give it a distance, which is the pickup distance. We don't really want to worry about a layer mask, but you can always add a layer mask on over here if you have one. But for now, we're not going to worry about that because we have an if statement coming up. So in our if statement, we're going to check if that object is pick-upable, right? So first, we're actually going to go if hit.transform is equal to null. So if it didn't hit an object, we simply want to return out of this. Otherwise, again, we're probably going to get a few errors. You know, object reference not set to an instance of an object. So let's return out of it. And then, again, so the reason why I'm doing a if statement before another one, like this, instead of just nesting them, is because, one, it looks nicer, and also, you probably shouldn't be nesting your if statements too much. It's a bad habit, and if I were to do... I would already be in 3 if statements deep if I was not doing the return. Cool, so let's check if the hit.transform dot compare tag, and here we can input a tag name as a string. So let's put in a tag called pickup, and so if the object is pickupable, then we can pick up the object, right? So how do we do that? First, we'll set current object is equal to the hit dot transform dot game object. So we're going to assign it, and then we're going to set its data. So current object dot get component rigid body. So we're assuming that all pickupable objects have a rigid body, and we will set the is kinematic on it is equal to true, and that means it's not going to interact with any other objects. Cool, and to be able to do this in the drop object, all we're going to do is set current object is equal to null, but before that, we're going to just paste in the is kinematic. Oh, I've been find kinematic, and let's set that equal to false, so it can continue being a standard rigid body. Cool, so honestly, that is pretty much all of the code. All we need to do is just change the object to be able to move to our camera position or wherever we're looking, and we are almost done. And then I'll probably show another method of moving it around. Cool, so because we have our current object, we can set current object, if current object is not equal to null, we can set current object dot transform dot position is equal to our cam dot position plus our cam dot forward. So we're adding a forward's direction onto our camera, multiplied by a new float, which we'll assign up here. So float, and this is just called hold distance. And let's set that equal to something like, I don't know, 1 multiplied by our hold distance. Cool, and that should be the code. So let's go over this one more time. In start, we're going to set the camera is equal to our main camera in our scene. In update, we're going to be getting the pickup key. Let's actually move this up here because this makes more sense logically. So we're going to be seeing if we're clicking the pickup key. If we are, we're going to be picking up, we're going to be calling the pickup object method. If we're not, then we're going to be dropping the object. In the pickup, we're going to check if we already have an object in our hand, we are going to return, and then we are going to raycast if we don't have an object in our hand, and we're going to be checking if that raycast has hit anything. If it has, and it has the tag pickup, we can then assign our current object and set its is kinematic boolean is equal to true. And then in drop object, and that happens when we let go of the key, or are not clicking it. If we have an object in our hand, so if it's equal to, if our current object is equal to null, we're going to return out of this drop object, so we don't need it. And then we're going to be setting is kinematic is equal to false, and then we're also just going to be getting rid of our current object. Awesome. And then simply if our current object is equal to we have one, then we're going to be setting its position. Also, camera.main dot game object dot transform. I don't know if you can call transform directly. We'll see. I think you can actually. Hit dot transform is equal to null. Then we're going to be going instead of assigning it, which is what we were doing there apparently. Cool. So on our player, we're going to be adding the pickup script. I forgot I actually need to rename it. Let's drag that onto our player. Cool, and let's see, make sure all of this is correct. Yep. And last but not least, we need to assign the pickup tag to our crates. Awesome. Let's go into our game and click play, and let's see what happens. So if we click F, it's going to hold that, and then it's going to do this. We'll probably want to increase the hold distance just slightly, maybe 2, so twice the distance. There we go. So we can now hold the objects. However, it can clip through the map, and this is where kind of the second method. I mean, if you're happy with this, you're happy with this, but you can throw the object, and you can't really do much with them. They're kind of just you kind of just move them and then place them on top of each other and stuff. It's pretty cool, but we can make it a lot better with the use of their rigid bodies. So let's get to that now. So instead of just setting the position directly, what we can do is actually set its rigid body speed. So let's go ahead and get that sorted. So let's create a vector 3 called the direction, and let's set that equal to our cam.position plus cam.forward. So we're getting our position which holding the object at, right? So let's call this the hold position and set it equal to cam.position plus cam.forward multiplied by our hold distance. Awesome. And then let's set the direction equal to current object dot transform dot position minus our hold position. Might be the other way, actually. Yeah, it's the target minus the current. There we go. So now we have the direction, and then which means we can actually set the rigid body velocity. So let's do that. So let's current object dot get component rigid body dot velocity is equal to our direction, and then multiplied by our move speed, or not our move speed, but our how do we call this? Our drag speed. And our drag speed can be defined up here as a private float called our drag speed. And you know what? Let's set this equal to 2. So sadly, I think if we want to be able to move it, we're going to be having to remove is kinematic. We're going to want to be moving it, obviously, with our mouse, with rigid body. That's fine. So let's go ahead and pick it up and move it. And as you can see, it does it pretty nicely. And we can actually throw it. And it looks kind of fun. So let's actually set this drag speed insanely high, and let's see how it works. It's glitching a lot. Let's set that lower. You can have a lot of fun playing around with this, and getting it working. This seems to work a lot better, and we can actually, yeah, we can lob it. It's pretty cool, and yeah, have a great day. We're done. If you guys like the video, subscribe and click the like button. I know this was a pretty weird, easy, simple video. If you guys have any questions that want to be answered, this is for an upcoming video. Pop them in the comments. I'm going to be doing a community post soon, and also a video hopefully on this, where I answer some of your guys' questions, and that's basically the whole video. Anyway guys, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Something I forgot to say before the video ends is thank you to Jonah, Aiden Taylor, Giovanni, Verschuren, and Seagull for their support on Patreon. Their help on Patreon makes the channel grow and makes it work, so thank you guys so much. Links in the description for Patreon. Have a great day.